welcome back. One disaster averted. Tammy's phone is good. All right. Elsewhere, did you catch this Justin Trudeau radio interview Friday on Radio Canada? How do you say it?
Yeah.
Laura?
Yeah.
Radio Canada?
Yeah.
Fascinating. And it was long form. He kind of let it fly. Here are the highlights. He playfully told the interviewer that he thinks every day about quitting his, quote, crazy, super tough, and at times challenging job. He said, is it boring at times? Yes. But amid all the domestic and international challenges, Trudeau said, and you could tell by the energy when you hear this, that he is very determined to stay on the job. Women's rights, LGBTQ plus rights, climate change are at the top of his to-do list and to protect list, no question about it. Now, I know the headline kind of went global in terms of Trudeau calling it a crazy, tough, boring job, and he thinks about quitting every day. I understand how those headlines would travel, but there wasn't energy in this interview. I want to defend Justin Trudeau, something I don't always do on the show. There wasn't energy in this interview that doesn't kind of come through those quotes that where I think the context is kind of important. But Mayor, you're batting leadoff on this. When you see quotes like this, what goes through your head?
Well, I think exactly what you just said. I mean, it's very different to speak something than it is to see it written in black and white. And I think, unfortunately, he's definitely fallen into that trap a bit. As someone who is Prime Minister and has been for a bit, you'd think that potentially there might be some awareness of how that line might travel, especially how that line might travel right now. And look, when I hear that, when I see that, and I think of the job of Prime Minister, I mean, check, check, check. It seems incredibly crazy and difficult, and I don't know if I'd say boring, but I just haven't experienced it myself, nor will I ever. But I don't think that is exactly relatable. Even though I understand it, the relatability of it is something I almost don't want to hear. Like, that's something that I think you just keep to yourself. Though I think it's understandable, I don't want to hear the Prime Minister say that out loud. I don't.
And I feel like going into the job as Prime Minister, you know it's going to be a crazy job. So it's one of those things. Yes, I didn't hear the interview, so I don't know the tone at all. But yes, those lines, those particular quotes would travel, considering just how divided we are as a country at this point. And so I think maybe you choose your words a little bit more carefully, just in case.
Yeah, considering the context all around this Prime Minister, it was fascinating to kind of read. I think internally and externally, there's two different stories. One, when he says, I think about quitting every day, going on that walk in the snow, as his dad famously went on, and the anniversary just happened to that. Don't tell me there aren't people in the Liberal Party who see that quote going, all right, well, let's really sit down here. Like, let's figure this out. Now, who would succeed Justin Trudeau? I don't know the name. That's an entirely different subject. But if I hear a leader saying that on open mic, 20 points down in the polls, there's some easy dots to connect there. Like, what do you really want? Who do you think, do you want the gig? Is this something for you? There is no harm in walking away from a job this difficult. Zero. Plenty of people have done it in the past. So that's the first part of that. If you're in the Liberal Party, you hear that internally. That's interesting. The other part of that is it's sometimes a boring job. I'm interested to know what aspects of it he finds kind of boring. Because what's boring to him might not be boring to other people. Like global affairs, the housing crisis, there was a famous line from this Prime Minister, the budget will balance itself. There have been slip-ups down through the years. What does he find boring about the job? That's the one thing I would like to dig further into. They didn't in the interview necessarily, but I just think the quotes from this Prime Minister are getting more interesting by the day, and I don't know what the end game is in terms of being this honest. Final point, to be this honest if you're the leader of our country, yes or no? Is this something you want to hear, or is this something you don't want to hear?
I mean, honesty, authenticity, transparency, yes. Having that to do with not sure if this is a job he wants to get up and do every day, no. No.
I'm with you.
Nope.
I'm in for honesty all the way.
Okay.
I want to hear it all.
Right. It's true, because there's a lot of not that out there. Let us know. Feedback.